PB, and today, y'all, I am out here in the garage shop and I'm gonna clean up a lot of mess. We've been really busy, we've been knocking off jobs. So I decided to do a voiceover because I want to kind of explain this process as I'm doing it. Most shops and people who get into screen printing, they really hate this part of the process, the part of prepping screens to clean them. Now, normally, y'all, I much prefer to clean my screens or to clean all the ink off the screens as I break them down. But because these screens were in storage and over at the other shop, I've got a bunch of screens that need to be prepped for me to clean them. So I'm just going to load them all up on the press right now. This is a quick and easy way to do it. I much prefer to remove the ink and the tape while the screens are on press. I don't take anything to the washout booth with ink on it at all, and I'm going to show you in this video how to completely remove all of the ink off of your screens and prep it so that when you get over to your washout booth or outside or wherever you're going to be or however you're going to wash it out, so that it's nice and easy. And I've got this hot pink shirt on, honey. This is a neon pink, a Gildan t-shirt, and I do not want to mess it up. So I like to just grab one end of the tape and start pulling. Normally, if you do this right, all of that tape will come up in a square. But this tape has been sitting on the screen for quite some time, y'all. And when it sits on the screen for a while, you see how hard it is to pull it up. Now, this is regular masking tape. They do make special tape for screen printing. We're just lazy most of the time, and we always use this masking tape, which is really, really easy to pull off of the screen when it hasn't been on there for months. This design, I think we did this design last summer, but I'm going to start by just removing all of the tape from around the screens. As I'm pulling up my tape, I just like to put it all in the center, and then I kind of roll it in together and throw it down there in that trash bag. I just use those throwaway trash bags because ink gets everywhere and it'll just destroy your trash can. So I just put them in the bags and then throw those bags in my regular trash can. Make sure you remove the tape off the back if you have any tape on the back of the screens. And it's really not hard to do, y'all, especially if you were to do this after every job. So now I'm just going to just scrape up all of the excess ink that's on any of the screens. If there's a little bit, if there was a lot, then I would have did this beforehand before I took the tape off, but there's very little ink on these screens, so I'm just taking all of that off. Now I'm back. I had to make a run, but I'm back, and I'm going to use my Plastisol press wash. And this press wash here is by Easy Way. It's a really, really good one. And what it does is it removes all of the ink out of your screens. This would be the way that you would prep the screens for storage if you want to reuse the design. Now today I'm just using an old t-shirt, but normally I have this stuff in a spray bottle, and I'm just gently just rubbing all of that ink up out of there. It's really, really, it comes up really, really easy. And I'm not sure if you guys can see on the video, but I'll put a screen up shortly. So after I do the front, I go in and I do the back. And my main concern is getting the ink off where the stencil is and where that design is at. So I want to try to get all of that ink out of the inkwell, because if you don't, when you go to wash out, you'll have a area where you can see where the design is, and then you'll have to degrease and maybe use a dehazer to remove that design out of the stencil. So try to get as much of that ink out as possible. I'm just going to go on with this process and keep doing the same thing. Now, I do recommend that you put this in a spray bottle because you will not use as much of the solution. It's very kind of oily like, so it just, once you put some on there, just use very little because it just spreads, and but you're able to get all of that ink up out of the screen. Make sure that you do the back really, really well, especially if you're going to reuse the screen for another design. Like if you have a customer that comes every month or every couple of months and you just want to keep that screen on file, clean that stencil out really good so that you can reuse that screen over and over and over again. I've kept screens for customers up until 2 or 3 years even. It just depends on the condition of your shop and how tight the screens are to start out with, but sometimes you'll lose a little bit of tension on a screen, and so, just keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, removing as much of that ink as I can. Sometimes white ink gives you a little bit of a hard time, so you may have to go back in and redo it again, especially when those screens have been sitting there for a long time. This was a halftone print, and so those halftone dots ink gets stuck in the screen, so you just got to go in and do it. I'm just going to go ahead and reload up some more screens, do the same process, and then after I'm done, y'all, I'm going to take these screens out. Well, I'm not going to do it now, but in the next video, you will see me clean these screens at the washout booth. So make sure that you click the next video link to see that procedure. And if you're not a channel member, make sure that you subscribe because I'm going to be doing a lot of screen print videos here on the channel. I'm LaTonna Robertson, the Lady Print Boss, and I teach people how to boss up in their t-shirt businesses, and I do in-person classes in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and I also travel to do classes. So if you're interested in any of that, all of my information is down in the bio. And y'all, keep it clean. That's the main thing that I can tell you, is to keep it clean. And I will see y'all in the next video.